I've been a professional evaluator for years, and now I've decided to tackle the most important evaluation challenge I can think of, namely the one that asks, is what we're doing making us healthy and happy and helping us live longer? My name is Robert Walker, or just Bob, or Roberto for the neighbors in the rural community here in Brasilia where I live. Speaking of living longer, I'd like to introduce you to my mother Marty, who just celebrated her 99th birthday.
People often ask me, when you're 99 years old, how did you get to be there? What do you do to keep healthy? Well, eat well, get some exercise every day, and I don't have health problems. And I think all those things contribute to being a happy, satisfied person. The fact that I'm so old and yet I feel so good. I eat real food and I don't eat a lot of sweets. We don't eat processed foods. I think that's very important. What you eat contributes a lot to the way you feel.
Well, what do we really want out of our brief earthly existence anyway? Maybe a learning experience? Most people would probably say a long, healthy, and happy life. Well, we're getting pretty good at living longer, but that doesn't seem to have made us much happier, does it? As for health, it seems the longer we live, the sicker we get, suffering from chronic ailments like heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, which just weren't a very big problem for our ancestors. But is this inevitable? Global average life expectancy increased by 5 years between 2000 and 2015. The fastest increase since the 1960s. Global life expectancy at birth in 2015 was 71.4 years. But chronic diseases and conditions are on the rise worldwide. An aging population and changes in social behavior are contributing to a steady increase in these problems. The middle class is growing, and with urbanization, people are adopting a more sedentary lifestyle. This is making obesity rates and cases of disease like diabetes skyrocket. What about happiness? 3/4 of the variation in happiness among countries and also among regions is accounted for by 6 key variables, one of which is healthy years of life expectancy. Is it true what they say about the jolly fat man? Are fat people really happier? Well, the first question to ask is, what is body fat good for anyway? It turns out it's good for a lot of things. Our brain, which is a pretty essential part of our body, is mostly fat. In fact, good brain function depends on saturated fats. And for the survival of the human race, the most important role of body fat was probably to keep girls alive long enough to have babies. Remember one key point. When we don't get enough to eat, we burn the fat stored in our bodies. There reportedly does exist a gene called FTO, which is slightly related both to obesity and to the risk of major depression. But this by itself hardly confirms the myth of the jolly fat man. Remember that our genes mostly reflect what were the chances of survival of our remote ancestors. Obesity is known to increase the risk of many diseases and reduce the overall quality of life. One recent study in the UK examined its relationship with self-reported health and happiness. Overall, 4.6% of the respondents felt unhappy, and the most obese respondents were more likely to feel unhappy. And for women, obesity itself tends to provoke unhappiness, regardless of its effect on health. It's a relationship like this. In general, and especially for men, non-obesity, health, happiness. For women, non-obesity, happiness, regardless of health. That's the interesting finding. In contrast, in the past, being chubbier made it more likely for you to enjoy good health and live longer. because you didn't starve to death so quickly, which must have made people happy. This is still in our genes, but it's not so relevant today in most parts of the world. What can we conclude from all this? Nowadays, for health, happiness, and longevity, it's best to keep your weight in check. And as we shall see, eating real food is one of the best ways to promote health and weight loss, and longevity, and probably happiness too. So my friends, I'm really convinced from the bottom of my heart, and based on the latest scientific research, that eating real food, like our ancestors did, will make us all less heavy and more healthy and more happy. Look, I'm really not interested in selling anybody the latest fad diet. I believe that through an exchange of opinions and evidence, we can find the best way to reduce our heaviness, increase our health, increase our happiness. Together, we can form a community of practice. We can share opinions, we can share information. An ideal tool for this is the blog. And I've set up the blog so that everybody can post. They can post long blogs. Everybody's welcome to contribute. I have a Dropbox on my website, which is chock full of information. Everybody's invited to participate. I even believe that it can help us achieve our goals. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you again. Ciao! Do Brasil!